Well, this is how sad I am. I'm actually watching my flight sim videos from earlier on, and actually, they're quite frightening to watch back. When I'm there doing it, it's just get on with it. But watching it back, I'm not in control of that aircraft, albeit a flight simulator in VR. But it is actually really scary to watch it back in some parts, and I mean it's 37 minutes long, so but I can sit there and watch it because I remember it all. But no, I get fear. I probably wouldn't watch it again because I've watched it a couple of times, but I've got fear because I'm not in control. And I got this before because I used to do skydiving in my youth, and we used to watch tons of skydiving videos and people lobbing out the back of Hercules and things like that. And all right, we're all sitting in a front room or in the canteen at the DZ and stuff, and just watching the film, you'd be like, because you can relate to it so much. And I used to say to people, I can't watch these videos without a rig on because it's just so real. A lot of the stuff that people produce these days is incredibly spot on. I mean, more so these days than when I was filming parachuting, because we had like an 8mm. I had like an 8mm camera on the top of my helmet and a 35mm camera on the front and a wire going to my teeth. I used to press it with my tongue in free falling as the film would be winding on each time I pressed the button. But now everyone's got GoPros and shit, and they're all small and light and everything. And when I came to dump the parachute, once I'd let go of the drogue, I'd have to grab hold of the helmet because the whiplash, there was so much weight going on that helmet. I used to, where you do a big star, I used to drop the drogue and then just grab my helmet, stop my neck from breaking, and then loads of times I saw stars. And I was just hanging there limp in the harness, breathing deep. Because you go from 125 miles an hour to nothing in just a few seconds. You only got the slider slowing you down, and then there may be a few twists and things. And the difference between the round parachute and the square parachute, I mean, you won't know this unless you've done it, but with the round parachute, it's like a swing. If you sit on a swing when you're a child and you wind the swing up, and you got all twists in the chain above you, right, and you let your feet up and just sit there, it'll unwind itself. And we've all done it as kids, come on, we've all done it. And then it pops out and you're there, ding. But with the ram air parachute, that didn't happen. That doesn't happen when you got twists. They stay there. And if you're still winding the twist up, your inertia, you've got to kick your legs in opposite directions to stop it. And then when you do stop it, you're looking up at all those twists. And they're not going to come out. You won't unwind, right? It's not going to happen. You've got to be kicking with your legs to unwind those twists, right? And then goodness knows what else is going on while you're doing that. I mean, I've only had one cutaway, and that was on a unit, a 7-cell unit, okay, which I bought off an ex-policeman from Hong Kong. Oh, it's orange and white. Bronco Lane, Billy Lane, I think his name was Bronco Lane, Black Knights Parachute Centre. paid 350 quid. It was my first ever ram air parachute, and I took it to a rigger. Richard something, can't remember his name. Anyway, I took it to him and he went, "Oh, what's this?" I said, "I just bought it, I'm dead proud of it. I just bought this, it's a 9-cell unit." And he went, "Right." And he said, "How much did you pay for that?" I said, 350 quid. And he went, "Right, okay." And he fitted it with a leg strap throwaway, because I was only a student at the time. And I said, "What do you think? Is it any good?" He looked at me and he said, "Bronco Lane didn't do you any favours." Put it that way. Anyway, that was the only parachute I ever had a cutaway on. And I did about 550 jumps, which sounds a lot. Okay, I mean the first 6 were like static lines, but after that they were all free fall. And I even bought my own round parachute, because there was a big queue. You know, when you put your name on a manifest board, there's a big queue. So I think I paid about 150 quid, bought my own round parachute. So because I had my own kit, I learned how to pack it, put it all away, and then bang my name on the board, and they went, "Oh yeah, Esketh, he's got his own kit. We haven't got to wait for kit to be packed from the packing shed, and we can put him straight on a plane." Boom. So that sort of made my progress quicker in the category system, because it went from category A to category D. These were your... So the first year I was on round parachutes with a front mounted reserve. And anyway, I'm going off on one, aren't I? I'm just talking about a load of bollocks. But anyway, yeah, I got onto my first square, which was this not 7-cell unit, and one day it just malfunctioned. It was a brilliant parachute. I mean, it was old. Even I started in 88, so 89, must have been 89, 90 when I got this parachute, and I was dead chuffed because it was my first square parachute, and I still had a big fucking bone dome on and hobnail boots and things, you know, and as you do when you're a student, and lobbing out and doing the thing, and it was a great parachute. It did okay, considering it was old and it wasn't cool. You know, I look back at pictures and I think to myself, big square backpack, you know. Anyway, I had one malfunction in 550 jumps, but the later parachute I got was even worse. I'll talk about that later. But this 7-cell unit probably would have done better in a different container. The container, it was a GQ container, and it was horrible. And it had a round reserve, and one day I just in free fall doing the thing, jumped and bang, went straight into a spiral dive, massive, really fast spiral dive, which was increasing in centrifugal force. And I'm looking up at the parachute, because you're supposed to go dump 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, check canopy, and when you go, oh shit. Canopy was there, it was flying perfect, but halfway down the lines, there's a slider, I'll have to talk about a slider on the square parachute was a square piece of material that was designed to start at the top and work its way down the lines. Okay, there's 4 corners, 4 holes, and basically the square parachute opened too fast. So you're going from 125 to like bang, and everyone was hanging there in the harness, sort of semi-conscious. So they thought, well, the square canopy opens too fast. They've got to slow the opening down somehow. So they put a slider in there. Okay, and it was just a piece of material that just slid down. So you got two front lines, you got two back lines, cascades they call them, and your brake lines are on the back lines. Anyway, what happened when the parachute opened? This slider was slowly forced down and down and down and down and down. So it slowed the opening down. It was still fast, but it was a lot slower. Anyway, I must have had twists in the brake lines when I repacked it, and on this particular occasion it had come down on all three risers apart from one of the back risers. I can't remember which one, but I looked up and there was a big knot and the slider was stuck halfway down the lines, and I thought, well, I'll just pull on the brake line, pull for all I'm worth, down to my knees, looking up, and it's going round and round and it's getting faster and faster like this. I'm thinking, shit, and I'm pulling, so I'm in a spiral dive coming down, and I thought, well, it's not stopping. Nothing I'm doing is of any help whatsoever. I'm looking up at this big knot of lines going through the eyelet. It's a massive eyelet, but the lines were knotted and it wasn't coming out. And I thought, well, I've got to chop it now. If you're going to chop it right now. And I just went, grabbed my reserve, and then I grabbed the other hand. I grabbed the cutaway handle, and I had to think, which one do I pull first? Because I had the reserve handle out, and I thought, don't pull it. You got to cut away first. And and it's on Velcro, and your mind's panicking at the time, and you're supposed to just peel it off the Velcro and go, pop. But I just got hold of it. I said, oh yeah, got to cut away first. So I grabbed the cutaway and just pulled it, and it's like so much harder to pull when it's on the Velcro. And I just went boom, and it was gone in a second, and I went bang with the reserve handle. I remember the reserve coming over my head. It was a round reserve coming over my head. Bang! And the next moment I'm like swinging under this round parachute, and round parachutes have got no control whatsoever, none. You know, you can turn them left, you can turn them right, but they've got very, very little forward propulsion. And so most of the times you finish up going backwards in the wind. And the best you can do is point them into the wind, and you're going backwards. So you're looking behind you like this. Where am I going to land? And you got to do a PLF, parachute landing full, they call it. And you just got to aim away from everything, away from trees, away from fences, and you just want to land in a field somewhere where you're not going to get hit, and there's cows and there's dung and there's all kinds that you get dragged through. Anyway, managed to land this parachute backwards in a field somewhere and drag it all in, and that was the one and only time I had a malfunction and a cutaway, and that was seriously scary. But I wasn't scared at the time. I was like, whoa, totally sort of like, whoa at the time, but I wasn't cool with it. I wasn't like going, you know, this wasn't like Iceman, you know. No, it was like, do this. You're panicking, thinking about doing things in the right order. And yeah, I'm glad to say I never had another cutaway. I always had a round reserve. Couldn't afford a square one. I mean, everyone's probably got square ones today. But back in the day, no, we didn't. But getting back to my video that I made today, I mean, I'm watching it and it is actually genius, if I say so myself. But I can't watch it back myself because it's super scary because I'm not in control of it. I'm looking at this thinking, oh my God. And any pilot watching this, right? Any pilot watching this will be like the same. They'll go, no, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. So nobody is going to appreciate this video at all. Not even me. But it is good. It is very good actually. It's just that no one will ever appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry for ranting on. I've had a few to drink, and good night, and may your God go with you.